Hi everyone.
Good afternoon. I shouldn't have messed about with the chat, and then I've left it too late and the match has started. Good afternoon, Bill. You're the only one here. And I've just noticed the clock's wrong in that as well. It's showing 1 minute past 2 when it's actually 1 minute past 3. Anyway, we're back for our third match in this year's tournament in the VP4 Straight Pool World Championships. And this is a match between Snake Eyes and Silvia, and it is a round 2 match, race to 200, and Snake Eyes from the UK, Silvia from Germany, and this could go very close. Well, the only additional news is that I'm now not just streaming to 3 channels, which is Facebook, Twitch and YouTube, but I created an account on VK, which I believe is like the Russian version of Facebook, and the reason I did is because there's a couple of Russian guys that I follow on YouTube who do live streams of Euro Truck and American Truck, and I created an account through VK, and it basically is exactly like YouTube, except it's for Russians. So we'll see if we actually get anybody who accidentally stumbles across the live stream at some point. I very much doubt it, but we'll see.
Deist Nomad. Afternoon.
Now, are you guys hearing that text to speech thing the same as I am? Because I've got it activated. I'm just wondering if you can hear it. Good afternoon. Ah, right, I've got it now. It's not the time of day, it's actually the time since the stream
Yes.
started.
Deist Nomad. Yup.
Oh, that's good. It could be annoying after a while, but we'll see how it goes. And we'll see how it handles. The interesting thing is how it handles Stub when he appears. You'll see FK this shit. So I'm just waiting to see if the first Russian comes in from VK. I'm looking forward to that, the day that happens. Well, that was a long way out from Silvia. Just to give you an idea as well, we've had 2 live streams. Well, I think it's 2. I'm losing track already.
Bill Glennon. Might need a virtual translator.
We had a match earlier on yesterday which took 1 hour and 35 minutes. It was very one-sided. And it could have been probably quicker if Bill had got his act together, but Bill still needs to warm up. And then we had a match last night between Larry from the US and Popman from the UK, and it took 2 hours and 40 odd minutes. So we went from one extreme to the other. And Snake Eyes, of course, here has got absolutely no chance of getting a break shot unless he can cut this 8 and somehow land good on this 9. Well, he's going to have to go full pelt for this with
Bill Glennon. I hear everyone is scratching, Potman said.
Well, last night Potman, Larry must have scratched about half a dozen times and Potman couldn't take advantage of it. he just couldn't score heavily enough. Larry was so generous last night. I've never seen Larry so generous. He was scratching all over the place. Well, this has to go off 2 rails into the back of the pack. It's the only way he's going to get a hit here. And that didn't work. So I run into the head of the pack.
Bill Glennon. I scratched plenty too.
That's always a good safety. You're going to knock balls out, but if you get the cue ball stone dead, you're going to leave nothing on against the head of the pack. And it also puts the incoming player under pressure to try and get cover, and it's going to be so difficult as well, with these pockets being more forgiving than the normal way that we're used to playing. Well, he's looking at a 3-ball plant here. I think this is a bit ambitious. The main reason is that the 1 ball is pushed against the 8 and was never going to hit the 2. So he's read that all wrong. And that ends up being a missed call and a free go for Silvia. I think he was trying out a sheer desperation there, because that was never on, that combo. And Silvia's got nothing on here. She's going to have to make the 15. I think it's got a clear run past the 2, which it does have, and this is a 9 times out of 10 shot. This has got to go. Now that cluster is definitely going to have to be moved, because there's absolutely nothing in there that goes, unless you can get to just to the left of the 2 ball and pot the 3. If you can get here again, that's one way of breaking it out. And that's a bit better, because that's now opened every ball. Well, certainly if the 12 goes, then you can nudge into the 13. 13 doesn't go into the middle, but there's not a lot more needs to be done. If you can get over to the left hand side and take that 12 ball, that can just loosen up what's left there. Or if you can get onto that 8 ball at the back and run into them, you can free them up a bit more. That's just a bit too straight in the 8 ball. Just the wrong side, needed to be further to the right. Now, again, if he'd gone a wee bit further out to the left, he could have well, in fact, he doesn't need to do anything now, because the 12 goes, so that's fine. And that's now opened them all up, and it's also got a break ball, so this is looking good. Oh, so I think he's okay. So straight through on this one ball up past the 13. As long as you get higher than it, you're just dropping it in, and then on the 12. And again, it needs that little angle to get out for the 6. Well, he's left himself short. He should have been up higher than that. It just means he's going the wrong way away from the 12. Now, this is not going to be ideal. He's going to have to go right through off that side rail and end rail, unless he's drawing this up the table. But it needs to go over to the right hand side. That's not going to do it. How's the nudge? Is that going to be enough? It's just going to be enough to catch those two end balls on the pack. And there's a shot, so everything's okay so far. Well, should have just taken that ball and then the one ball without trying to create anything else at that point, because this is what can happen. You can end up right in the stack and you end up on nothing. Yeah, that's trouble. And of course it's so difficult then to put it safe, so he can't get to the side rail, because the side rail shot would be just straight out and back into the pack. He can't do that because he's right on the 14, and well, this is going to blast things open. And the 5 isn't. Oh, that's a good shot. Looked as if it was going to the jaw, but it keeps him alive. Run goes to 16. Now what you could do is he could run through in the 2, come back down, take the 1, bring the cue ball out and up slightly for that 7, and cut the 7 into the right middle and bring the cue ball into the pack to move a couple of balls. You could do that. He's trying to move them there, and the spin will give him a shot in the 7, but he's dead straight, so he can only follow through and drop onto the 15 this time, and then he's going to have to get a shot, because there's nothing on unless he can come back for that 14 into the top pocket. Yeah, he's going to struggle here.
Der ist Nomad. Selby 3-2 Ron.
Yeah, it was 3-1 at the interval when I shut it down to start the stream. So Snake Eyes run goes to 20, and now he's got to look for a safe. Again, this is actually not a bad shot, because he's likely to overcut this and the 4 ball comes back onto the bottom rail. If he's playing it mostly for safety, he'll go back up the table, and that's a good shot. I mean, that was more or less a safety shot rather than a really serious attempted pot, because he's obviously on nothing other than a bank, and now Silvia's got that choice, but it's still a reasonably good safety. Now if we look, there's nothing on there at all. However, that 8 ball was on if the 14 was out the way, and Silvia again has hit that too thick, and that's now opened it up.
Kobrov 4. Hi everyone.
Good afternoon. And it's in the voice to text, or the text to voice there, pronounced that Kobrov 4. Let me just check the size of that chat window.
Bill Glennon.
I can
Hi.
increase that a bit. That'll do. That's better.
Master Power. Yule FCK.
I was just waiting on that. Yule FCK.
Napnicker 99. Missington with his good luck gentleman. Bill Glennon. LOL.
Good afternoon. Welcome to all the latecomers. Well, there's no obvious break ball yet. Favourite, obviously, if there is a favourite, is going to be any of these 2 balls in the back rail, because the 9 balls in the triangle, and that would end up being respotted if it remained there, so the 9 ball's been taken care of. And that's going to be way too high. I don't know whether he can. I don't think he's got any chance of holding this for the 12 ball, because he'll be blocked out by the pack, so he's going to have to go up and down the table. Now that needs to either stop or bounce to leave some sort of angle. I don't know whether that's going to be enough, whether he can catch any of this pack, and he's a firm stun.
Gloria Victus Jape. Hi Hugh, LS3 here.
Good afternoon. Well, I said it last night again about the flat back pack that Willie Thorne used to talk about in snooker, but that's actually turned out not bad. There's still a shot on, because the back of the pack is really solid when you're lined up to those all those
Bill
balls
Glennon.
lined up in a row.
Hi.
But it's difficult to read the angle, although there's a lot of room to cheat the pocket as long as you get the pace right, and that's not going to quite do it. So Silvia has a chance to score something here.
Dayanist Nomad. Stubb versus Eddie should be a good match.
Yeah, as I said, I probably won't get it, because they're going to set that for some sort of time in the middle of the night, more than likely. So the only hope I've got is that it's on my day off, and Silvia has to reboot. I don't know why. Because I would have, if I was going to play a match, I would have restarted my PC before. It'd be a bit crazy if it was a Windows update. So we wait on Silvia's return. Well, while we're waiting, oh, well that's weird. I've got to hit leave the room. I can't bring up the internal browser when that message is up on the screen, which is a bit stupid. You should be able to bring up the internal browser. So we can't do anything. I was going to have a look at the bracket there. And again, just for all those latecomers, I'm now streaming back to 4 different channels: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and VK, which is the Russian version of Facebook. Not that I've got any friends on there, but it's just in the off chance that people are browsing through the live streams and they may well stumble across Virtual Pool 4. And Silvia is back, so hopefully we're good to go now. Well, after that little interval, here's hoping she can pot a ball and at least get rid of these 3. Again, she's not cut it enough, and that's a poor one, because these sort of chances, even though there was only 4 balls in the open, they should have been on your scorecard. I mean, these pockets are very generous compared to what we're used to, and if you're overcutting it gently,
Potman 66.
It's got to go in.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Potman.
Gloria Victus Jape. 9BLACK is V excited about you streaming our match on Wednesday.
Yeah, well, he asked last night when I finished with Larry and Potman's match. He asked what times would suit. Obviously, I don't know what times would suit his opponent, but I told him what my days off were, and any time on Tuesday after, in the afternoon, any time on Tuesday in the afternoon UK time, or Wednesday, or even on Thursday, because I go back to work on Friday. On Thursday, any time up until like 7 o'clock at night to start the match would be fine, because I mean, judging by the Potman Larry match, it was 2 hours 40 odd minutes, so that would mean I'd be finishing round about 9:30, 10 at night, when I need to get to bed. But
Potman 66. What's the voice in comments?
That's a feature on the Restream chat app that I'm using, and it's a text to speech. But it's also good from the point of view that when I'm busy looking at the table, I'm not always looking at the chat, and at least I can hear a comment, and it draws my attention to it. That's going to scratch, and Snake Eyes has made the first, well, real big mistake.
Deist Nomad. Anyone know who 9 Black really is? Is it Romario?
I wouldn't think
Cobra
so.
4. Can we turn it off?
No, you can't.
Potman 66.
No, you can't.
Can I disable it, Hugh?
What did I say before these guys arrived? I said, I wonder how long it's going to be before it starts. I was wondering how long it would be before it annoys people.
LOL.
it's very unlikely that 9 black would ever be Romario, because Romario does, you know, when he is in VP at any time, he does very little communication. Nobody knows who he is. Nobody knows where he's from. At least I don't.
Bill Glennon. It will be fun listening to Real.
But Romario hasn't been online for months and months. But this is an important visit already for Silvia. She's 27 behind and she hasn't scored yet on a visit, and really needs to put just something
Kobrov
together.
4. Romario is better player. Potman 66. I think he is a friend of Larry.
Well, that's going to
Kobrov
end.
4. No offense to 9BLACK. Dea ist nomad. Romario is from Huddersfield K.
Well, that's ended up. Well, that 8 ball's dead. The 8 ball is dead. And Silvia's looking around, but it is definitely dead on. From where I'm looking, it is going into this pocket every day of the week. Oh no, it's not. It's overcut. What was that? What was that stand-up comedian? Mike something. He was on the TV. He was on BBC Two in the 80s. Mike Harding. He's from Huddersfield, I think. And you don't see him anymore. Only people from the UK will know who I'm talking about. Well, Silvia's visit only grossed her 5 points. And, well, this is going to be a toughie to get to the pack. It's going to have to be Ampon full, big draw, and if it draws off the bottom rail into the back of the pack, probably not a lot on. Well, that's perfect. That will do very nicely. And it's just going to see Snake Eyes stretching the lead early on here.
Master Power. Yeah, you can't turn it off. All knob bends and knob ends will hear the voice. This is great, made my day K. Potman 66. LOL. Master Power. Silvia has to F fire up. Bill Glennon. LOL.
We've finally put a voice to Stub, and quite clearly he's sitting there wearing a dress. Who'd have thought it?
Beppo Bapone. Lol.
Who's Beppo? I've never seen that name before, or if I have, I've totally forgotten if I've ever seen it. Well, even already in this match, Silvia has got to meet. This is actually like deja vu. This is like the Larry Potman match last night, where every time Potman came to the table, he just couldn't score. Just could not put a half decent contribution.
LOL me snakes.
To get back into the game, and this is taking a very similar track early on here.
66. Have fun, I'm off to play the new Medal of Honor VR game.
Right, see you later. By the way, that, what do you call it? That Cyberpunk game's bugged to hell, because not that I bought it, I hasten to add, I'm testing it, and I've got to a point in it very early on in the game where the character that you meet, who is effectively your partner, takes you to see like a cyber doctor.
Beppo Bapone. I'm in bed now. PLS give me good show. Heavy black heart.
And when he takes you to this cyber doctor to fit, to upgrade an implant, it takes you into a menu where you can choose upgrades, but you've only got one upgrade, which is for optics, for your eyes, I think, for aiming. And so when you check it, it's already installed. The problem arises with the fact
Hotman 66.
that you can't come out
Have you got coveted,
of
Beepo?
the menu, and so you're stuck in the menu. There's no escape from the menu, so all you have to do is kill the game. So it's really, really bugged. And this is another thing with these big games where they have a deadline, or a deadline date, and rather than hold the game back and delay, they're under so much pressure to get these big games released, and they fire it out, and it is really bugged. I mean, that's a major bug right at the start of the game, and so now I can't continue, which is another very good reason why I'm glad I never bought
Beppo
it.
Bapone. Yes, since 1999.
And Silvia once again, only 6 on that visit.
Potman 66. The question is, does Hugh wear a kilt?
No, I've never wore a kilt. And do you want to know something else? I never will.
Beppo Bapone. I got mass ice brain damage because of disappointed face. Beppo Bapone. V.
Well, that's right on the point of the triangle, and this is
Hotman
going to
66.
spread them far and wide. Well, Sylvia's
Beppo Bapone.
just got to hope that
Quiet now. Beppo Bapone.
there's a mistake here by
Concentrate
Snake
on the
Eyes.
game.
And there's a mistake. And surely this time she's got to score something. I mean, without moving any balls, I mean, those 4 balls on the side rail don't need to actually be moved, apart from the fact that if you can get out here, I'll get that red line, if you can get here and pot the 13, you can break
Dea
all of
is
these
nomad.
out.
Seem to remember Hugh got a Borat Mankanai.
No, I don't have a Borat Mankanai either. I'd wear one for a bet. Now that's pushed the one in towards that cluster, and that's ruined my plan, because my plan would have been to play that 13 and then open them out. But there's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 balls to be taken here without doing anything, and on concentrating trying to break them out when she didn't really need to, she's missed a 5. So there would have been another opportunity to get into them off one of those couple of balls that were on the bottom rail. So that was the wrong move at the wrong time, and it's only 3 this time. And so again, the point I'm making is you have to take what's there first, really, to get yourself warmed up. I mean, there is a strategy, of course, to deal with problem balls, but it wasn't a desperate situation that she had to try and move them there and then.
Hotman 66. Got a new mouse mat, Hugh. Cooler Master RGB hard surface. Much better than aluminium.
Yeah, that'll wear away though. I've had all sorts of not keyboards, mouse mats with various surfaces on them, and I wore out 2 or 3 of the same mat. I can't remember what type of mat it was, but it was a metal mouse mat, but it had a surface on it, like the black dark surface. It was good at the time, but with constant use when you're playing VP4, it just wears away. This mouse mat that I've got, the gold aluminium one, which I don't think is available anymore, it's still okay, although it is showing signs of wear and tear. Well, that's going to scratch, is it? No. So Snake Eyes is 31 points in front, and that isn't a crisis yet, but it very soon will be if Silvia cannot make an impact on her next visit. And everything's in the open, so these are all 3 points here for Snake Eyes. Is that blocked? Yes, it is. So can he squeeze it in? Oh, he can squeeze it in. Plenty of room. Now it looks like it's up the table, and anywhere up here would be that's short. So the other thing now is a run through.
Potman 66. When it wears down ILL turn it round cause it's quite big, should last years.
Yeah, I've turned my mouse mat round 3 or 4 times, but I'm back to the first part that started wearing.
Potman 66. LOL.
I think the one thing, it's all very well me sitting in the sidelines and watching somebody play, but you have to, when you're at the table and you're on a ball, you're thinking about your next ball. At least you should be. I mean, that's the way to play any game, and you have to then move the next step up and thinking about a pattern for 2 or 3 balls and how you're going to get to a certain position to deal with maybe a slight problem ball. And if you keep that mindset, it helps you construct a run. And this is what you have to do. In some cases, it's not necessary to panic and start trying breaking balls up when there's still other balls out there to be had, and you may well land better on one of those other balls to get a break, a split or something like that. And it might well, after a lot of these guys have played a match, whether they still be in the winner's side or the loser's side, it may well be something that will develop better for them as the tournament goes on. But what it matters is that Snake Eyes is on a run of 17 again. These contributions all add up, and he's stretching away. And Silvia last night, I think, was on the stream, and the discussion got round to how this setup seems a lot easier, and she seemed to think that if she can get 69 on this table, other guys in here will be able to run like 200. Well, that's one thing that I certainly didn't agree with, because you can see how people get into trouble and how a ball runs different.
Silvia knocked in 50 against me, won the match in one visit.
Well, that's fine, but you know, that's if you get that break ball and everything goes okay. But even a run of 50, you know, when you break, if you win the lag and you put your opponent into break, you come to the table. After your first visit, you've got 15. You've got 15 points. After your second visit, you've got 30. So that's 2 racks. That's all you've done is ran 2 racks, and then a third rack is 45. So she broke down, or if it was just a race to 50 anyway, then you know that was it, over. So that was basically only 3 racks and a bit. And when you think about it, 100 and 200 runs are a lot of racks, and there's a lot of things can go wrong in between times. So I think it's a very tall order to expect anybody in this tournament to do something like that. Especially Stubb.
Nomad.
Especially.
Can you imagine I'll be Cobra Keith etc. on these bucket pockets mega breaks?
Well,
Napnicker 99. 40 is best in tourneys so far.
I don't think, as I said, that could be the case, and Stubb's a prime example. He will pot himself out of trouble, but it's so easy to get yourself into a situation where you don't have that option.
Too easy to scratch.
Nail to a ball, he's going to be letting that cue ball run. You see what happens when the cue ball's running. And in this game, you can't let the cue ball run. You have to be playing it into an area, and you have to be playing little stuns, and the cue ball should be moving very little. That's if you've got the cue ball under control. And we've yet to see that take shape when the high run is only 40. The high run of 40 again is only 2 racks and a bit.
Gloria Victus Jape. Looking for some action if you want to lay me a price on 150 plus break in tourney.
Well, as I said yesterday, it's far too soon to predict that. I would wait until the first and second rounds over, once everybody's played. In fact, some guys won't be playing anyway. Some will be getting forfeited to the next round. But we've got a
Beppo Bapone.
We've
no
got
smoking.
A good what's the tie that's still not set yet? I mean, you've got Keith against Fantastic Mr. Fox. Now there's a chance there for some scoring in that match, and you've got Cobra waiting on the winner of the LS3 9 black match. You've got Fast Eddie against Stubb. You know, so if you're going to see a higher break than 40, a higher run than 40, it's going to happen in any of those two or three matches. Well, the scratch has been made. We've missed a scratch, and Silvia at the table, and she's way behind, 54 points behind. The run of 28 came to an end there. Now there's a slight angle in this to just nudge into these, and that's fine.
Cobra 4. Come on Fast Eddie.
Now take the 11 up for the 13. Again, that's far too hard. A touch.
Hotman 66.
I mean, Silvia's got
the
a touch like a sledgehammer.
All over when you try to navigate. What's up with it?
Well, the brackets are like that all the time. That shot there, Silvia played. In no way did she want to get there, I don't think. And she's missed the 13, and she's going to fluke it. Goodness me! And she's got out of jail there, big time. it's gone into the pocket that she called, so it's a legal shot. Well, this shot here is a little stun in the 6 ball, because you need to stop the cue ball where the 6 ball is so that you can take the 10 and then come around behind the 3 and the 8 ball. That's the shot. And she's gone too far. That should have been a stun so that you can make sure you're going to get right behind. So I think she can still do it. And that's a better touch. Now the only thing is, if she'd gone a wee bit further, she could have potted the 8 and ran into the 5 and the 2. Or I think it's the 2 anyway. And this is why you have to be thinking on your feet all the time about exactly what you're doing and what that next shot's going to be. And then she can run with inside English to split these. And that's unlucky. But again, it's only 7. And it was untidy. Got a break there with a fluke. Going into the called pocket. The 3 balls at the head of the triangle, it's been respotted, so Snake Eyes is going to have to make plans here.
Beppo Bapone. Why are so many balls on the floor? Beppo Bapone. Is this a drill?
Now he's going to have to leave this high. That's too high, and the cue ball's going into the kitchen, so he's got no shot other than to run into the head of the pack again. Well, Silvia
Beppo Bapone
can pot the 2. The 2 is tight, but it does go, but it's very easy just to chip it onto that 1. But I think that's the only shot she has. In fact, now I look, I think it does go. Yes, you can see it.
Dea ist nomad. 4-2 Selby disappointed face.
Well, it's a race to 9, isn't it? So that's another 2 frames to go. So Sullivan can get it out. He can get out at 4-all if he wins the last 2. And I won't see the evening session. I'll be in bed. I'm up at 2:30 tomorrow morning. And Snake Eyes could break the 100 here. Build that lead up even further. There's a good break ball there. In fact, there's a couple of good break balls.
Sway. Silvia is better than this.
Well, we know that from the, what was it, the 10 ball or the 9 ball tournament. And she just cannot score. She's got the potman disease. I mean, she's not out of it yet, but she's going to have to put 20 or 30 together to get herself on her feet. But it's got to be done by a better choice of shot. I mean, these balls here, nothing has to be touched. It's picking your way through them that matters. So nothing has to move. All you move is a cue ball. That's the only thing that should be moving here. Every ball goes into a pocket. There's nothing blocking anything as long as you move that cue ball properly. Oh, that was scratching. If I hadn't clipped to one. But no harm done.
Beppo Bapone. It's a completely different game with these wide pockets.
Well, that's exactly the idea. The emphasis on scoring. And you're going to get found out if you can't move that cue ball.
Beppo Bapone. Has nothing to do with pool anymore. Beppo Bapone. Absolute bullshit.
No, well, I think you're interpreting it wrong because you're seeing evidence of it. It's who moves the cue ball better when these balls are sitting there for the picking. I mean, this is how straight bull gets played. When you're in amongst them and all you're doing is soft little screw shots, little stuns to get on the next ball.
Beppo Bapone. This is why Silvia can't play.
And this is why the game becomes a lot easier for those that can move the cue ball and control it, and they will score. And if you keep giving them chances, and if you keep not taking yours, you're just watching them disappear into the distance all the time, as is happening here.
Beppo Bapone. She's a great straight pool player. Bedhead_sway. She can only play on smaller pockets. Nice logic.
No, it doesn't matter how big the pockets are. Get that notion out your head. It's down to how well the cue ball moves. And the first thing that you do when you break those balls, like Snake Eyes has just done, is immediately
Cobra 4.
Immediately
LOL.
plot your way around what's there. I mean, there's easy pickings here straight away. Drop the 4 in.
Beppo Bapone. Nope.
Drop the 3 in if he wants. Finishing the 5. I mean, pot the 13, finishing the 3. I mean, there's every option here. But it's so easy to drop a ball in and lock that cue ball onto a ball and have no shot, and that's why you have to get it into a safe area that allows you to play a shot. This is why things can go wrong so quickly.
Not as easy as everyone thought.
Of course it isn't, and that then backs up my theory that it's going to be very tough for somebody to get a big run. You have to make a good choice of patterns in how you're running a table, and you also have to steer well clear of that break ball when you get one, and then you also have to get on that break ball when you're on your second to last ball. It's a big ask. Now he could pot the 13 and just come back slightly. He'll still have a shot in another ball, but he could get rid of that 5. Maybe not. I don't know whether he can pot that and draw into the 6, but he'll still have a shot in the 2 or anything like that. But that's one way of dealing with a 5 ball. When you're close in here, the option's there to try and get rid of the 5. It's pretty tight, that. In fact, the more you look at the 5 ball, that is awkward, but there's still opportunities to deal with it. One opportunity would be potting a 7 and try and get out into the
99.
table.
Silvia is only a 3 PTS per turn player. Larry is on 7 PTS per turn.
Now, I think he tried
Bedhead
it.
_sway. We'll see how Semi does later. Should give us an idea.
I think he might have tried to get lucky and get a shot in that 5 there. But now, if he can play the 1, I don't think he can play the 1 either. I don't think he can quite get there. So this is now becoming a problem because he's running out of balls. And also, the break ball is now the 11, and he's going to play the combo. Easy enough combo. Now the 4, the 8 will be next, but has to get an angle on this 8 ball, unless he gets it dead straight and just rolls through to pot the 5 and then get out into the middle of the table. Or is he taking the 5? That's the question. Well, this is a little soft draw and spin to the side rail, or just a try and get that parallel line. That it could have done moving a wee bit further out, but still got the shot and doesn't need to thump it. Just needs to run into them. Got to bring something out, can't avoid it. And that will do, and the run goes to 29, and I think Larry's high run may well be going here if Snake Eyes just minds his work. Again, the cue ball is just let loose there, and it wasn't necessary. You can't do that. I mean, it sounds like being nitpicky, but you can't let the cue ball run.
Gloria Victus Jape. Decent from Snake Eyes, best I've seen them play.
I think the one thing you must do, and that's a prime thing, is not letting that cue ball run when it doesn't need to. I mean, you can run it into an open space when you're guaranteed you know you're not going to scratch to get to that 3 ball, for example, but you know, potting balls in a corner pocket near the triangle end of the table and just letting it run into balls when you don't need to. I think that's the mistakes that players have been making so far, and that's why they've been scratching, because when you let it run loose, the inevitable can happen. And that's perfect, that one, because again it wasn't played too hard and the little nudges opened everything. The run goes to 33. The only thing to deal with here now is that every ball that's near him is encroaching in the triangle, so they're all going to have to go. The 8 balls at the head of the pack, it's still a good break ball though. And Snake Eyes building up a huge lead now. And this is the sort of thing Silvia needed to do in any of those visits she's had, and it's never looked like coming. And this is how you just pick your way through the balls when they're all sitting there for the taking. And Larry's high run will definitely go unless an absolute disaster happens here, because he's on 36. There's more than enough here to take him over the 40. The 8 ball, I'm pretty certain, is his chosen ball for the break ball, as long as he stays out of the way of it. And he really should be getting rid of that 10 ball now, and then getting rid of the 13 possibly. Well, he's going for the 1, could be going for the 1, the 13, or killing it for the 5, because it's encroaching in a triangle. Well, that's going to make it easy. Stop it stone dead. And that now ties the high run for the tournament. Well, he wants to be ideally going the inside of this 10 ball, closer to the rail, and it means he can stun out into the middle of the table. It's a more controlled shot to get a good line for this 8 ball. So unless he wants to run it, but I would be more inclined to just stun this in, jab it across in a parallel line. And you see he's running it soft, which means he's going further away from the 8 ball, but it's still a good break shot though. Break goes to 42. That's killed the cue ball back into the pack, and that's awkward. He can't get to the 10. The 1 is an awkward cut, and it's a tight shot past the 10, and he can only look at the 6, and he's going to be queuing over the 13, so it's not going to be much of a high break, but he's going to go for the cut. Now I wonder if he'll use the W key. You can jack that cue up, but there's still a big margin of error here as long as you get the line and you play it at a decent pace so that it's going to gather into the pocket. And he hasn't got there. Oh, well, that's cheated the pocket by the country mile, hasn't it? Unfortunately though, he's got 1 ball, he's got the 10 and the 1 and the 11 that are in the open and don't need to be moved. He can pick them off, but he could maybe, I don't know what the angle he could run into the pack there, but he can't. Now this is the one where he's more than likely going to try and run into something. That 14 ball would look like the candidate to run into off the 10 ball, which would then nudge that purple 12 ball across the table, but it doesn't need to be hit hard. Well, he's hit the 4 and the 5, it still doesn't matter, he's got a shot, and the 14 ball's now not really a great pot. How does the 2 look from there? I see if he could get up the table. If he can get up to there, he can pot the 2 and then open them all up.
Beppo Bapone. They're a good 7-9 combo on the floor.
And he's managed to stun into them. The run goes to 48. He's going to run into the 5, but no problem. How does that look? It looks tight there. Plenty of room when you look at it from behind the shot though. So the run is now 50, and Snake Eyes on 129, 99 points in front. And I think that 12 ball is perfect for a break shot. Yeah, 12 ball is good. I don't know whether he's just running through enough there. I don't know whether he had enough. You see, I think he had too much angle to get good in the 1, because the 1's the one he wanted rid of, but he can get it now. And this is a crucial part of every run in straight pull, is getting good on the break ball. And how does that look? Well, he can go to the left and inside. He can go that way and out, or he can go forward and out. Well, he's come inside. He's still got a shot. Doesn't again need to thump it.
Lee Batsford, semi-pro. Yo.
Good afternoon, Semi. And that's a good shot. It's got everything wide open, and it's back to the same routine again. It's a routine every time you're on this in the middle of this visit. Study the table, look at the balls, see if anything has to be moved.
Bill Glennon.
And nothing needs
Hi.
to be moved, as long as you get on the right side of those two balls that are close to each other. There's two sets of balls close to each other, but they don't need to be moved. So this is a promising run here. Break goes to 58. And the 2 needs to get rid of. While you're down there, get rid of them. Well,
Lee Batsford, semi-pro. What you done with the chat? Smiley face.
Look at the 10 ball. Had that 1 ball not been there, all he had was a tight shot along the rail. That could have easily ended up a disaster there. And now he's got a problem, because he's creating problems when there wasn't problems there in the first place by moving balls when he doesn't need to, and he's now got the 4 towards the 11, which is either going to have to be a combo out of desperation, or he's going to have to go over the left side and get the cut in the 11. It's dead easy to start creating problems for yourself when you look at the table first of all and nothing had to move. Yeah, I've got the text to speech feature in the Restream chat app activated. I did it specifically to hear Stubb, and we've already heard him, so that's made all our days. I would be getting rid of the 11 right now, when at least you're guaranteed you can see it. I'd still be getting rid of the 11 because it's annoying me sitting there and you're running out of options to get there. Now drop the 7 in and get rid of the 4. Where's the cue ball going? Oh dear. Well, this is a tester because he's hooked in the 4. That's again how easy it is for things to go wrong. When you move the cue ball around the table, when it starts rolling, it can roll into awkward spots and bang goes your run. Well, the 3 goes, as does the 14 obviously. Run goes to 67 and the run continues, and once again get rid of the 4 ball. going to try and keep inside this 3 ball, inside to the right rail, or out into the middle of the table to give either angle whatever he wants. But the inside shot, and this just needs a stun to catch those 2 corner balls again. And it needs to keep running, and that will do. As long as he's got a shot, the run continues. And that kiss has made it awkward. It's a nasty little cut back in the 7. He can certainly get to it, but once again the cue ball's going to be running into traffic. And he's still got a shot. Again, it's awkward, but you get this every day of the week on that 4 ball. And now you've got to be, even with these balls as they are, you've got to be thinking of what's the best way of trying to disturb something. And let's look at that 8. That 8's too tight. He could end up playing a bank and running into the pack out of desperation. The 15 goes. That's a brave cut. Well, that's a shot right now. He probably won't get in any better position to try and play that 15 cut, but he's not risking it. He's looking to run in off the 6. What's the angle like? That's not bad. Firm stun. Might have been able to, if he'd got a wee bit more angle, but a firm stun may well get a hit on something just to nudge something out. Is he going forward? Yeah, I don't think that was the way. But the 8 ball, I think that's debatable whether he can get enough of that. I need convincing that will go.
Uba.1233.
Yeah, it does go.
Wanna become famous? By follower SPRIMES and 6EWERS on bigfollows.com.
That's the spam bots on Twitch. Want you to buy followers. Well, we've come through a little crisis there, or at least Snake Eyes has. Because when you're running out of balls,
Gloria Victus Jape.
You have to start
I
thinking
stand
even
by
more.
my prediction from watching this run.
The run is on 78. Well, the 11 goes. Obviously these 2 balls here, the 12 and the 1, are very adjacent to one another. He could draw into them, but it's a firmish shot to do that if he's risking moving him there. And if he can get over to the right side, pot the 3, that's the breakout on those 2 balls. And that is very nice. And the one thing to worry about now is where he's going to get a break ball from. The run goes to 81. Well, it's going to have to be the 12. And if he can get over, well, if he could finish there, he can pot the 13 and break the pack that way. If he finishes here, he can pot the one, break the pack that way. So he's got a choice. But again, it's into the flat back pack. And this could end up dead. But it's ended up pretty good. And the run goes to 85. Well, he's got an easy 9 ball and an easy 6 ball. He can roll the 9 into the far corner and he can deal with those balls in the middle of the table right now. But he's taking his time and he's looking around, which is what you should be doing. Well, you see, he's letting that cue ball run again because he's thinking, I've got to be on a ball. And again, it's taking a risk. And okay, he's got away with it, but it's not the way to play it. You can't be running that cue ball.
Deist Nomad. Awesome play.
Well, take the 4, run through, pot the 10, get rid of the 9 in the rail. If he runs through for the 9 in the rail and he finishes short on that 2 ball, he can create a chance here where he can pot the 2 into the middle and stun into those balls to move them from that position. That's the sort of stuff you have to be thinking about.
Silvia has gone for lunch.
Well, the run now goes to 90. And, well, he's got the chance from the other side of the table off this 15 ball. What's he seeing here? This just needs a gentle stun. At worst he should be on the 2. And he's missed the pack. And what did I say? The run ends on 89. And a prime example there. 2 shots where he's letting that cue ball run. He didn't get the stun right there. And it's cost him. And the run ends on 89. It threatened to get to 100. But this is how it's so tough when you just get out of line. It only takes 1 shot out of line to cause disaster. And once again, the scratch has come to the fore. But it's certainly a more appreciable high run than 40. It's now 89 for the tournament. And Silvia, well, it's a long, long road. And this cue ball's going to be running all over the place again here, unless she just drops it through for the 12 at the top of the pack. Well, she tried to thin cut it and chip it in, and she'd done well. Done very well. Now, the 14 ball is okay. The 3 balls in the triangle. 15's at the head of the triangle. And if she takes the 15, she's going to run into those balls. Oh, she managed just to avoid it. Well, it's respectability you're looking for now, Silvia. The first target is getting to 50 on the scoreboard. I mean, every game is about moving the cue ball and how well you move it to get on that next ball. So the strongest players are the players that can move that cue ball the best to put runs together. And that's going to be a missed call, and that's a perfect break ball for Snake Eyes. I think it is, if you can see it. Sorry. Well, of course, what am I thinking about? Is obviously with the missed call that resets it, so it's going to be what? It's going to have to be the 14 ball, and the 7 ball is going to go in the kitchen line, unless he can move it. Well, another lifeline for Silvia. So still got the target of getting to 50. I mean, what she's doing there's right enough, because it's just little soft screws. You're trying desperately not to having to let the cue ball run. It's a fatal mistake if you have to let it run, as we've seen way more than enough evidence with all the scratches that's went on so far in the tournament. Well, 15 ball, and you can deal with the 1 and the 14, either or. And we've got the 13 ball is the ideal candidate. I've got to be careful with this one. Again, just letting it run there. Again, this is another one you've got to be careful with, because you've got to, well, you get the little chip like that, you're okay. And now the break ball has changed. 4 ball looks like the one on, but if you pick your way through the balls better, then you don't move your break ball. I think once you've made that decision and you've picked out your pattern that you're going for, you should be nowhere near your break ball. And it's only ever if you're going to get out of line so badly that you're going to have to play another ball that causes you to run into it, that it should ever move. Because if you're banging into balls, and you're banging balls to rails, and they come back out and nudge into your break ball, then you know it's probably because it's unnecessary. It should all just be little gentle touches and very short movements of the cue ball. Well, now what was the break ball is going to have to go, and the 14 is now in the triangle, so it's down, and she's nudged the 14 and forgot about potting the 4. So that run I think that's Silvia's best contribution of the match. 13. And this is a bit too straight to probably get an awful lot out of this, I think. I mean, a good firm stun with the amp on may well get a hit. Just a little chip, and it's just chipped one out. But where's the next one coming from? He's pretty straight. Well, all I would do is just drop down. You've got a chance of just playing a good safety, pushing that 11 up the table and nailing the cue ball to the pack. Well, again, can just run for cover here.
Nomad. Selby 6-2 end of session.
Oh, that's bad for O'Sullivan. He's going to have to play well to get back into that, and Selby's not exactly the guy that's going to let him do it. Has he called the bank? I think he has. So the score update: Snake Eyes on 172, 28 short of the target, and Silvia on 50. He's trying to bank this and draw the cue ball into the pack. I wouldn't even be taking that risk. I'd just run for cover. Oh, he's managed to cut it. Well, that shows you how open these pockets are, because I didn't think that would go. He's going for the kill. So he's got 6 balls to work with here. The 4 at the top end of the table, the 5 and the 13 at the back of the bunch here. I think I'll tell you something else, guys, about having the chat, the voice to text, sorry, the other thing, the text to voice chat on, is that it stops quite a lot of folk typing bullshit, because it annoys them listening to it. We haven't heard Stubbs came in, heard it, and then he's gone, he's disappeared. It's kept him quiet. Well, good angle to run into them. Might as well go for it. And that's done virtually nothing there. Like a solid wall. Now, how does it look from that side? Well, there's nothing doing there at all. It's going to have to be the 6, the 5, and then if he can finish low, he can get that 12 at the bottom of the pack there. So run through to about there. That would be ideal. And then just smack into them that way. Is he looking at some sort of combo? I don't see anything doing there. There's nothing to be had from that side. And there's nothing from that
Gloria
side.
Victus Jape. He missed the 6.
Did he miss the 6? Who missed the 6? Am I falling asleep here again? Oh, it's Silvia at the table. When did that happen? And where the hell was I looking when he played that shot? This is awkward. I mean, it's a simple safety, pushing the 8 up the table and just locking onto the 9 and the 15. But that, not the 9 and the 15, and it is the 15. Is that a combo, those two? They're a combo. And now, you could pot. No, you can't do that either. There's just no room to manoeuvre. That's... The pot hasn't worked. So the pot or the safety hasn't worked there. I don't know what it was. This is also why I think Acero could be a dark horse in this tournament, because he's another player that does a lot of thinking about what he's doing, and he should be pretty good at it. I think he's a candidate for getting a shout for the title. So, a reminder to any latecomers, not that there will be any, but the high run now for the tournament is 89, which is held by Snake Eyes. Is that high enough? It's a firm stun again with the amp on, just to chip the corner if he can. And he's got nothing. Well, the 5 goes. It does go, and he can see it. The thing is, if you don't get the line quite right, it could easily just clip off that
Deist Nomad.
That 9 ball and go in.
Were there any high breaks in last straight WC? Can you remember?
The highest would have been about 40, I think. It was nothing impressive. I don't think it was much more than that. In fact, no, tell a lie. I think Larry got the high run in the straight pool too. I think Larry's high run was maybe about 60 or 70 odd. Need to ask Larry. Larry hasn't been in, but I'm pretty certain he got the high run in one of his matches. So Silvia has now got to the first target of 50. Can she get to 70? Because that's the next target. Somebody do me a favour. Find out the Celtic score for me, please, because there should be about 10 or 15 minutes left on it. They're playing, who the hell are they playing? Kilmarnock. So, 3 balls to work with. Nothing set in the pack.
@pegleg_TV.
2-0.
Celtic 2-0.
Right.
Dea ist Nomad. 2-0 Celtic.
Thank you. That's a good little shot. Now, again, 2 balls in that triangle. 3 ball could be the break shot, or the bigger candidate would be the 12, but it's going to have to go. It was the last F1 race today as well, was it not? I presume it's over. Oh dear. Oh. It threatened. Well, got to get square on this 3 ball, and no further than that. Well, that still gives her a chance. But you see what I say about the flat backpack. Willie Thorne's always right, or he always was right, the poor guy, because it's a stone dead brick wall, and you'll be lucky you'll be on something going into the back of the pack. But Silvia's got a shot. It's always best to hit the corner 2 balls if you can, because that way things will open up. But going straight into the back of those 5 balls lined up, it's really a solid wall. But there are 1, 2, 3, 5 definitely, but again that's run into them and she's in nothing. This is why picking off what's there is always the best route, rather than trying to disturb balls when you've got balls there for the taking to start with. This 14 does go, and the little chip off the 3 has done the trick there. Doesn't matter how they go in, as long as they go into the pocket you called. So Snake Eyes is sitting 17 points away from that 200 target. Silvia's target is to get to 70. It's going to be the combo. Now, well, that's opened everything. We've got 2 awkward balls in the side rail. And if she just kills the cue ball off this 8, she can get rid of that 10 or the 12, whatever one it is in the side rail. I think it's a 12. Now what I'm saying is that she had the chance there to take that 12 away immediately off that 8 ball if she just killed the cue ball stone dead. I mean, these are not difficult to cut down the rail and go into the pocket, and she's got another chance right now, but as soon as you get a sniff of dealing with that problem ball, you should be on it. Well, it should be 3 ball then 4. It's not a difficult cut in the 3. just a gentle pot with a bit of inside English just to check the cue ball. That would be one way of doing it. And again this time 3 ball with a little bit of inside just to make sure the cue ball stays in a line that will give you a simple enough 4. And the longer she leaves that 4 sitting there and that 3 up there, the more likelihood to disaster. And now the cue ball just squirting away and running nowhere exactly. Well, the 7's been pushed out the triangle, and the 2's in the triangle as well, which is no good. And so it's going to have to be, again, I'm trying to bring the 7 into play. But the run is 25. Silvia goes to 76. And well, I suppose the only good thing about this situation is that Snake Eyes has got nothing easy to break the pack open where these balls are sitting. Now, there is a shot here he could play to try and leave himself with a break shot, and that's to play a gentle combo on the 7 onto the 2 to leave the 7 near the pocket. And then he could have run off the angle into the pack that way. Now this other way, it's a big target, but he has to get the line. And would you believe it, he's scratched again because he's letting it run. I think the gentle combo would have made it an easier shot to leave that 7 near the corner pocket and then run off the angles into the side of the pack. And that's a good safety. Okay, he loses a point, and he's not really in any major trouble. So now we're going to get a wee bit of tip tapping. Now Snake Eyes, has he got a shot? Is there a combo lined up? I don't know what he saw there, but he should have been just running off the 5 down into the kitchen. He would have left nothing on. I'll tell you something, I know that with a lot of these guys who can pot balls, they're going to be less inclined to look for safeties and more inclined to try and keep runs going, and that can be the big mistake. Okay, Snake Eyes isn't under any major threat here in the situation of the match, but I'll tell you something, if he had a decent lead against somebody who was in the match with a bigger score, he may well have thought better of that shot and played the safety off the 5 just to get to the kitchen. So Silvia's next goal is to get to 90. just a gentle cut in the 7, run into the 2 and push it. She's got to be on a ball. And, well, maybe she was holding for the 14, but at the end of the day, didn't go through with the shot. Well, push the 14 around and out into the middle of the table would be one option. I think that's a bit risky looking at that too, but get out into the middle of the table. You've got the 9, the 15, the 11 looks very tight from there. So snake eyes, 15 away. Once again we have a break ball, that 15 ball, but the 12 in a triangle, and the 2 and the 4 are a problem. And now he's on nothing. That looks an easy bank on the 10. That's got to go in every day of the week. I tell you, it's a lot easier than playing this as a combo. I'd be playing that 10 ball. That's got to go in. No, he's made his choice. He's picking, calling the 12. Well, why he doesn't like the look of that 10 ball, I don't know, because you can easily just put a wee bit of left on it just to make the angle proper on the 10, but he's played the combo and he's got it. And this time he can either go for the 13 or play the combo again on the 10 and 4. Well, he may well end up having to play that because the cue ball's going to come back up the table. And that nudge on the pocket has left him on nothing. Now if he can avoid the double kiss, he can play the up and down bank on the 2. What's he doing here? Playing the combo again. Good shot. And if he can get rid of the 10, he's sitting pretty here, because he's got a good shot on the 15 to come up the table and across for the 2. Goes to 191, just 9 away, and needs a half decent break, and he should be out. And that is pretty nigh perfect. It might be a bit straight though. Let's have a look. In fact, it is very firm stun just to catch something and nudge something out. No, far too straight. So he'll just run into the head of the pack again. Leave Silvia nothing. Well, the 8's still on. And was that Silvia's last shot?
Chet. Frankel had a run of 71 last STR8WC.
I thought it was you, Larry. I thought it was you. I had it. Oh, maybe it was Frankel. I knew somebody had something. I was thinking it was about 40 odd, and then it came into my head, but I thought it was yourself that had it. Well, if you missed it earlier on, Larry, I don't know whether you've been watching, but the high run now is 89 by Snake Eyes, and he's missed a sitter. Just 4 away. So Silvia's target is 8 balls away, and they're all here for the taking to get to 90. Now, are we going to get a break ball and a shot and get to 100?
Chet. That was the 2018 tournament. Was there one since?
No. The one that the one with the one with semi-pro and Frankel in the final. No, that was the last one, I think. That's a bit straight. Now she could pinch a bit of the pocket here with a wee bit of, just a dab of left English, go through onto that rail to get out into the table and leave the angle.
Simon Varley. Why is my YouTube bot reading out all the messages, LOL?
Because I've got, that's dead straight, that's no good. Because I've got the Restream chat app activated with text to speech, so that I can concentrate on the balls, but I can hear anything that's been typed. And yes, it does annoy viewers, but it also then prevents people from typing a lot of crap. Shut up Snakes anyway, he's gone quiet, and Stubbs only said one sentence and he's gone quiet, so it's definitely doing the trick. So Snake Eyes has 4 balls to get, and Silvia's played the standard safety, pushing into the head of the pack and trying not to leave anything on, and in turn Snake Eyes has got it wrong and has left Silvia a shot. So still a chance and an opportunity to get to 100. She's having a good look at the 15 and the 12, what's that, the 13. Let's have a closer look.
Simon Varley. Glad RRP is not in typing.
Yeah, I don't know why she did that. She should have took the 2 ball. Well, it's game over. Snake Eyes is going to win the match by 200 points to 91. And before you go, guys, a quick look at the bracket, because I think we need to check and see whether Semi-Pro's opponent has arrived. and there might be a fair chance that he will arrive, because he subscribed to my YouTube channel last night. So just 2 more balls for Snake Eyes to go through and be the current high run holder of the tournament of 89. That was well done. And he
Lee
marches
Batchford,
on.
Semi-Pro. Hugh is a man beast of God sex. Smiley face.
Let's have a look at the bracket. Right, well, the result will go up. Snake Eyes is already through, and if we look down, where am I looking? Is it further up the bracket? Why can't I see the bloody fixture? Oh, there we go. 5:30 that match is due to start, between Semi-Pro and SD92. So that is about 30 odd minutes away, and in the meantime I am going to go and get something to eat, and I will be back on the assumption that Semi-Pro's opponent's going to turn up. And until then, I'm going to thank you for watching, guys. I'm going to get something to eat, and I will be back with the intention of streaming Semi-Pro's match should it go ahead, and I hope you can join us in a little while. I'll see you later.